Welcome to Roman to Yoga. In today's class, we'll be using some blocks and a strap, but you don't need them. Remember, just all you need is you. You can invest in props later on as you begin to practice yoga more often. Lower down towards your mat and take a full body stretch. Point your toes, flex your feet, draw your hands to heart center and select an intention for today's beginner yoga practice. It can be a word or phrase, whatever first comes to your mind. Don't overthink it. Place a bend in your knees, pinky toes to hang off the mat. Lower your knees towards the right, take your gaze to the left, and then lower your knees towards your left and take your gaze towards the right. You can either place your arms in the T position or in the goalpost position. Just notice if you're in the goalpost position that your elbows are in line with your shoulder blades. Next time your knees lower towards the right, pause, pick up your right foot and place it just above your left knee. Turn your gaze towards your left. Soften the muscles in your face and breathe deeply. Close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. Release the pose. Lower your knees towards the left. Take your gaze towards your right and pick up your left foot and place it just above your right knee. Breathe in and breathe out. Soften the muscles in your face. Draw your navel point in and up. Lift and spread your toes. And breathe deeply. It's so easy for this mind to wander outside of this space, but I invite you to bring it back to the right here and the right now. Take a full body stretch, flex your feet, draw your right knee in, hands to frame the knee. Lower the leg down and draw your left knee in, hands to frame the knee. Set this into motion at your own breath's pace. I invite you to go slow. It's so easy to rush through your yoga practice, but I really want you to slow down and feel every muscle in your body. One side may be tighter or looser than the other. Acknowledge it, let it pass through you. You're just collecting data. You're not passing judgment on yourself. Next time your right knee comes in, find stillness. See if you can lift your upper body up off the ground just a few inches. Release the leg down, then draw your left knee in and lift your upper body, hands to frame the knee. Lift and spread your toes. Release the pose and take another full body stretch. Place a bend in your knees. Clasp your hands behind your right thigh. Inhale, lift your foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower the foot down. If you'd like to use a yoga strap, wrap it around the ball of your foot and lift and lower at your own breath's pace. Remember, all these poses can be done today without props. Props are optional, and I invite you not to go out and run as fast as you can in the store and buy a bunch of props, but find out, is yoga working for you? And you'll figure out along the way if you want to enhance your practice with props. But you don't need to. Extend your left leg long. Find stillness next time your right foot reaches towards the ceiling. Pause. Keep a generous bend in your knee. Draw your chin down and back. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Never should you feel pain in your yoga practice. Sensation. Lower your right arm into the T position, and then lower your right foot towards your left ear, but not past it. You're going to want to feel the stretch in your IT band. Turn your gaze towards your right. Now, if you're experiencing any discomfort in your head right now, pause this video and grab a pillow. You might need a little bit of extra support. Or Just hang out with me, head resting gently on the ground. Release this pose. Remove the yoga strap from your foot. Extend the legs long. Place a bend in your knees and wrap the strap around your left foot. Hug your arms into your body. Lower the foot towards the ground. Inhale, lift the foot up. Lift and lower the foot a couple of times at your own breath's pace. What does that mean? One breath with one movement. So are you breathing? No, you're not racing through today's yoga practice. Slow and lovely breaths. Inhale, exhale. Next time the foot lifts towards the ceiling, pause. And if you want a little bit more, extend your right leg long. Flex your ankles and notice that there's a generous bend in your left knee. No need to hyperextend your legs today. Things will open up over time. Transfer the yoga strap to your right hand and lower the foot towards your right ear, but not past it. Feel the stretch in your IT band on your left outer thigh. Turn your gaze towards your left. Close your eyes, flex your feet, and breathe deeply. Know that you're in the last seconds of this pose. Remove the yoga strap and lower it down by your sides. Draw your elbows into one another. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, lower down. Notice that you have a curve in your low back. No need to rest the low back on the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. One breath with one movement. Your feet should be hip-width distance apart and firmly press down into all four corners of your feet. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower down. See if you can squeeze your elbows a little bit closer to your side body. Bring space in your palms, and next time the hips lift, clasp your hands under one another and see how high you can go. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Squeeze your glutes. Notice that your hips are level, that one isn't sinking down. Exhale, release the pose. Draw your knees into your chest and gently rock from side to side. Digest everything you just did. Breathe in and breathe out. And the easiest way for you, come to a seated position. Extend the legs long, flex your ankles, and draw all four corners of your right foot into your left thigh. Walk your hands forward and come to a tall, lengthened out spine. Hip hinge forward and straighten a couple of times. Once you feel a little bit of space in your hips, find stillness. Perhaps you bend and straighten the elbows a couple of times. Now this posture is active. Flex your ankles, draw your low belly in and up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Really think of hinging from your hips, no rounding in your spine today. Extend the right leg long and press all four corners of the left foot into the right thigh. Walk the hands forward and come to a tall, lengthened out spine. Bend and straighten a couple of times and then find stillness. Bring space in your toes. Draw your low belly in and up. Focus your attention on the right here and the right now. It's so easy to let your mind wander outside of this space. Release the posture. Wiggle out the toes. And the easiest way for you, come to hands and knees. Keep your blocks nearby. Notice that your knees are hip-width distance apart. Extend the right leg long and step it in between your hands. If you're using blocks today, frame your right foot And bend and straighten your right knee. Notice that the top of your left foot is lowered down and resting onto your yoga mat. Movement before stillness. Breathe in and breathe out. Go easy on yourself. Remember, you made it to your mat. Sometimes the hardest thing is just rolling out your yoga mat and pressing play. But the most important thing is you're here today and you're practicing. Next time you hip hinge forward, find stillness. Notice that your right knee isn't creeping up your right toes. If so, take up a little bit more space on your mat. It's there for a reason. Keep your core tight, tucked, and engaged. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Extend the right leg long. You may need to come up onto your mat. You may need to come up onto a higher block setting. Flex your ankle and create a slight micro bend in your right knee. Now, if you feel your back overly arching, it's signaling that you may have gone too far. So if that's the case, just sit up and don't lean onto your yoga blocks. Release the pose and return back to hands and knees. Feet hip width distance apart, hands shoulder width distance. Inhale, round the spine. Exhale, lower the spine down, curve it. Inhale and exhale the spine a few times. Lower down one vertebrae at a time. Go slow. Everything will be waiting for you once you finish up today's yoga practice. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the left foot and step it in between your hands. If you've got your blocks, grab them at this time and bend and straighten the left leg. Notice that the top of the right foot is rested down onto the yoga mat. And go slow. One breath with one movement. No need to rush through your yoga practice. If you think about what is to come, you will miss out on the right here and the right now. And remember, all you have is right here and right now. Next time you hinge forward, pause, breathe, focus on your breath, in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Extend the left leg long. Flex your feet. Create a micro bend in your knee. And breathe deeply. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Come back to the words of your intention and repeat them to yourself softly. Once again, repeat the words of your intention. Flex the knee, step the feet back, come to hands and knees, step the feet back, place a generous bend in your knees, and begin to pedal out the feet. Firmly press all 10 fingers into the mat, palms down. Now, if you have wrist issues, place a bend in your elbows and come back to this downward dog position with a little bit of extra cushy support. Place a generous bend in your knees and straighten and lengthen out your back. Notice how this feels. No need to touch your heels down towards the ground today. You'll get there. Now walk your feet to your hands. Press your hands into your shin. Flat back stretch. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, flat back stretch. Hands pushed into the shins. Exhale, lower down. Hang heavy just for a moment. Bend and straighten your knees a couple of times. Kind of shake the hips out from left to right. And stand up tall. Turn to your mat and separate your feet wider than hip width distance. Notice how your toes are. Your feet should be parallel to one another, Place your hands on your hips and bend and straighten your knees a couple of times. Inhale and exhale. Now hip hinge forward and lower your hands towards the ground. Bend and straighten your knees once more. Always glance down at your feet and make sure they are in alignment. It's so easy for one foot to creep in or creep outward, so keep gently bringing it back to alignment. Breathe deeply. Feel this forward fold. Clasp your hands behind your back and lower your hands down towards the mat. Open up your underarms a bit. Breathe in and breathe out. Lower the hands down. Place your hands on your hips and stand up tall. Step the feet together. Come to the top of your yoga mat and forward fold. Slowly lower down. Place your hands on the mat and come all the way down to the mat. Extend the arms long. Let the tops of the feet rest onto the floor beneath you. Curl the toes under. Take a moment and lower the tops of the feet down towards the mat. Feel the stretch in your body. On your next breath, place a bend in your right knee and lower it towards your left. Twist a few times. You can place your arms either in the T position or the goalpost position. Do whatever feels best in your body. Now, as you twist over, your right foot doesn't have to touch the ground. Know that things will open up over time. Next time you do the belly twist, find stillness. If your neck is really hurting, you can grab a yoga block or a pillow, just something for a little bit of extra added support. Close your eyes and breathe through this. Breathe in and breathe out. Release the leg down towards the mat and place a bend in your left knee and then lower it towards your right. Bend and straighten a couple of times. You'll feel the twist in your low body. One breath with one movement. Inhale, lift the foot up. Exhale, lower the knee down. After you open and close a couple of times, lower the foot down onto the ground. But remember, if it doesn't reach the ground today, that's okay. You can let it dangle. You can grab a pillow, place it under your foot. Remember, this is your yoga practice, so you do what's best for you. Extend your legs long. Push into the floor. Push your big toes together. Separate your knees to the wide edge of the mat, but not to stay. Return to hands and knees in the wide-legged child's pose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower your hips towards the ground. One breath with one movement. Next time your hips, reach your heels, find stillness, and walk your hands forward. See if you can walk your hands just a little bit more forward. Draw your low belly in and up. Create space between the top and bottom rows of teeth. And focus your attention on the right here and the right now. Walk your hands over towards the right and feel the stretch all along the left side of your body. Walk your hands over to the left and feel the stretch all along the right hand side of the body. Envision your right shoulder blade coming a little bit closer towards the ground. On your next breath, return to center. Firmly press your hands into your yoga mat. And come to a seated position. Once you're in a seated position, make your way. Step your feet to the wide edge of the mat and lower your knees to the right. Take your gaze to the left, and then lower your knees to the left and take your gaze to the right. Now you can either place a bend in your elbows, or you can lay all the way down on your back. Whatever feels best for you. Notice how your hips feel now in a seated windshield wipe compared to the beginning of today's yoga practice. Make your way all the way down onto the ground and firmly press all four corners of your feet into one another. Clasp your hands up overhead and feel the stretch in your hips. Feel the stretch in your underarms. Make a box with each hand and begin to circle. You'll circle above your head and then down along your chest. Go slow. You're not whipping around tornadoes. You're just making a small, gentle circle, creating space in your underarms. After you've circled the arms out a couple of times, circle them in the opposite direction. Notice if anything feels different on the opposite side. Once again, you're just collecting data. You're not passing judgment on yourself. It's totally normal for your body not to be perfectly symmetrical. You can work on areas, but some things, maybe through injury or just genetics, might not open up over time, and that's okay. Once again, the most important thing is that you made time for you. Extend the arms up overhead. Bring the knees together. Lower the arms down along your sides. Draw your knees in towards your chest and gently rock from left to right. Massage out your lower spine. Find stillness and separate your knees and clasp onto the outside, to the inside of your feet. Happy baby stretch. Envision your knees coming towards your underarms. Draw your chin down into your chest. Create space between the top and bottom rows of teeth. And one more time, come back to your words of your intention. It's so easy to practice your words on your yoga mat. I invite you to take these words off your yoga mat. Come back to them throughout your day or even throughout your evening. There's a reason why you selected them. Take one final full body stretch. Point your toes. Stretch out. Tell your husband to get out of the shot because this is your time for you. And then come to a comfortable seated position. Draw your hands to heart center and always, always commend yourself for making time for you. Now tell me, what kind of yoga video would you like to see? I'd love to dedicate a video to you.